I've been playing Goose Goose Duck for about 5 months now to try and diversify my content. In today's video, I'll be talking about the pros and cons of my experience and my opinions on the game. Neutral and new crewmate and imposter roles were the selling point of this game. Neutral roles add a whole new dimension and complexity to games like Among Us and Goose Goose Duck, which made me wonder why Among Us didn't add neutral roles earlier during their peak. Another thing this game succeeded in where Among Us didn't is the addition of new roles for geese and ducks instead of just having bland roles. For example, Mortician is a ghost role that allows you to investigate dead bodies and know the role of the dead player, which is especially useful in games with neutral roles. Another example is Professional, which is a duck role that causes the body you killed to disappear unless someone saw that kill. For me, proximity chat is a feature that instantly makes any game more fun. Initially, I was disappointed with what I got because most of the lobbies seemed dead and lifeless, but as the months progressed and as I started playing the game more and more, I did manage to find more fun or at least more interactive lobbies and started enjoying it more. The concept of knowing what roles are in the game, but not knowing who has those roles is the reason why Draft is my favorite game mode right now. To me, this not only makes it more fun and tense, but it also forces you to think more smartly and be more calculative whether you're a goose, a duck, or a neutral role. Lastly, unique death animations. There are at least 6 or 7 different Among Us animations, excluding the April Fool's themed death effects, like the horses and the long necks mods. Meanwhile, in Goose Goose Duck, there are 10 different animations, and even though the animation quality is not as good as in Among Us, the creativity, uniqueness, and how fun they look makes up for it. I love the animation so much that there was a point in time where I was looking forward to getting killed, just to see a new death effect. I once killed someone who I thought was suspicious as the sheriff, and the animation of me removing myself from the gene pool, it was just great. If Among Us is going to add a sheriff role this year, I hope they do copy the concept of the sheriff offing themselves whenever they mistakenly kill a crewmate. Another thing that I love about the games in general is the attention to detail. I just recently found out that there are unique death animations depending on your location in the map, which is a nice touch in my opinion. Firstly, there are way too many roles. When I first started playing this game, I was so confused and overwhelmed by the huge number of roles in a single game, especially in Draft. Even after 5 months of playing, I still can't remember the purpose of most of the roles in the game, and it sometimes becomes frustrating whenever I lose. Secondly, is it only me or is playing this game boring unless you're able to kill somebody? More often than not, it seems like I'm just walking around doing tasks and then a body gets reported with seemingly nothing interesting happening unless I talk to another player. The best way for me to describe it is that it feels like the game is dead. Meanwhile, in Among Us, even in big maps like the airship, it doesn't feel the same way. It feels like there's an element of suspense. Maybe it's just me though. Thirdly, it feels like the developers chose quantity over quality instead of the other way around. I don't like most of the maps in Goose Goose Duck because they feel dead, which might be the reason why I feel like the gameplay is boring. With that being said, I've probably played about 4 or 5 maps at maximum, so maybe this criticism is unfair. However, out of every single Goose Goose Duck game that I enjoyed playing throughout these past 5 months, I can confidently tell you that the reason I enjoyed it was not because of the map. I didn't care if the other maps were bad. I just wanted something new and to see unique death animations that I mentioned earlier. But sadly, since the maps are limited to Mallard Manor, the Carnival, and Godzilla, it's no surprise that I got bored pretty quickly because of that. On the other hand, in Among Us, I have alternate map options if I get bored constantly playing on only one map. Proximity chat and the draft game mode can only take you so far. If the maps and the atmosphere around the game feels dead, then you won't be able to keep casual fans like me for long. Fourthly is the limited game modes in the game. I've only played 1 or 2 game modes in Goose Goose Duck on a regular basis, those being Classic and Draft. That left me wondering, why are players not playing other game modes like Trick or Treat and Taste Like Chicken, which are both modes that I had a ton of fun playing, even though I only played them once. I also wanted to try other game modes that I've never played before, like Corruption, Dine and Dash, and Hoot and Seek, if I'm correct. Sadly, it seems like not many players are interested in these game modes, so I don't think that would be possible. I get it, draft and neutral roles are the main selling point or the main attraction of Goose Goose Duck, but if players are not going to play those other game modes as often, you might as well remove them from the game. So, overall, I don't think the game is really good. It lacks diversity. However, I am still going to play it and I am going to upload some videos, just it won't be every month like I do with Among Us. But if there are any other games that you guys would like to see me play, comment down below. Also, click the playlist off screen to watch more Goose Goose Duck content, and I'll see you guys next time.